Xbox can't get away from news, it seems, because the Xbox Game Pass has increased its price and people are very angry about it. And then the Xbox Rogue Ally X, or the two handheld Xbox systems, were recently released for pre-order, and it turns out they are incredibly expensive, combining a very poor and unfortunate news for Xbox along with the Game Pass price increase, though there is a lot added to the Game Pass Ultimate subscription plan, but for a lot of people, it is too much at once, and I kind of agree with them. My name is the Techno Jelly. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. If you would like to support directly, please go over to my Patreon at the Techno Jelly as well. You'll get access to a once a month exclusive stream and a poll to decide what that stream game will be and join the community. The Xbox Game Pass is probably, before this price update, one of the best deals in gaming, and after this price update, is still a really good deal for a lot of gamers, but the problem is that I think it was too much at once. So the price went from $19.99 US to $29.99 US, which is a significant price increase. It means an extra $120 per year, basically, if you're doing the monthly subscription, though I do think there are other subscription things. You can do like the 3 months, 6 month, and 1 year thing, but we'll keep it just to the per month thing for now. And they do add a lot of good stuff. They added 75 plus more games, the Ubisoft Plus and the classics, with EA Play and Fortnite Crew coming in November, which, though, to be fair, I thought EA Play was already there. And the Fortnite Crew thing is really cool, honestly. There's a lot of people who still play Fortnite on Xbox, and having the Fortnite Crew added into it, which is the Fortnite subscription service, so it gives you a battle pass and V-Bucks, I'm pretty sure, every month. And for a lot of people, that is a big deal. The Fortnite Battle Pass is a really big thing for a lot of people because tons of people still play Fortnite. You should never snuff at that just because, you know, the hardcore audience doesn't care about Fortnite. The hardcore audience is, you know, not the, 40 plus million people per month that play Fortnite or something like that. The also good news is that the essential and premium tiers below it aren't changing in price. Those are basically the same price. The PC specific Game Pass is increasing in price to $16.99. It was $11.99 US before. So that is slightly annoying, but it's not nearly as a massive jump. Now, the things added to Ultimate Game Pass is good and very useful. The problem, I think, is the steep price increase for a lot of people, because it went from $19.99 to $29.99. So it basically went from $20 to $30, almost a full 50% increase. And depending on where you live, it has increased a lot because the price in the US dollars does not equal to what the price is in other countries. I've seen people in Brazil complain a lot because the price went almost triple for them, from at least if you trust the online sources. And I couldn't really find anything like that, but I see a lot of people talking about that, how the price increase is a lot depending on where you are, which is unfortunate because for a lot of places, especially in South America and Europe, in a lot of places, or South Africa, or not South Africa, Africa in general, this is a great way to get games because it's cheaper and you don't necessarily have to spend the $80 US price tag for full price games, because you also get the day one games guaranteed on Xbox Game Pass for the Ultimate Edition. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why so many people are upset, because the price increase was so steep. And for a lot of people, they aren't really interested in the Ubisoft games and the EA Play games. What they want is the day one, first day releases for Xbox Game Pass and their day one releases. That is why most people are playing these things. Because, I mean, sure, the backlog is great. The indie games are great. But most people only care about the big name titles. And that isn't changing. That is still the same thing. That isn't different. They're still doing that. The things that they're adding onto it, for the most part, other than the Fortnite Crew, I think the majority of people don't care about. Because, you know, the two things that are the biggest deals, I think, now on Game Pass are the day one releases and the Fortnite Crew stuff. Because those are the two biggest audiences for Xbox to try to grab players back into this ecosystem. But for people who are already playing or paying for it, nothing really is changing other than the Fortnite Crew stuff. Because, like, sure, the Ubisoft stuff is good. No one really cares about the other stuff for the most part. And so for a lot of people, it's just price increased by $10 or more with no real benefit. And I can see why people were super upset. They got so upset that they went to the Xbox subscription service website and it crashed because so many people were trying to cancel. And now to be fair, it is a online website, so like maybe the servers weren't expected to handle that many people going to cancel, but it is a way to protest, to cancel your subscriptions. And I agree with that. If you are upset about it, you should cancel your subscriptions, because I don't see a lot of benefit for a lot of people with this increased price, because all the things that most people wanted for Xbox Game Pass is there already. And like, yeah, sure, the cloud gaming is better. The $100 subscription earning points system thing is better, but most people don't care about that stuff. And what people cared about was the day one releases, and that isn't changing, and it's just increasing in price for a lot of people. So I understand why people are canceling en masse and just really upset with Xbox, because all they did was increase the price and then add things that for some gamers sure will be good, but for most will not. So I can see why a lot of people are upset. Continuing on with the Xbox news now, Xbox has finally released the details for the Xbox, or the Rogue Xbox Ally and the Rogue Xbox Ally X. Now these are the two handhelds that are going to be released for Xbox, and this relates because these were mostly, honestly, let's all be real with each other, these are going to be Game Pass machines. Most people who are going to be buying this thing you're not really assuming they're going to be buying games for this system. This is an Xbox Game Pass machine that you're going to be using Game Pass for. And in fact, one of the promotional things is that when you buy one of these things, you get 3 months of Game Pass included in select markets, of course, as the marketing does. But this is going to be a Game Pass machine, basically. And the reason some people are upset is because it is incredibly expensive. We're going to be going Canadian dollars because that's what I can find the prices on easiest for me. So the Rogue Xbox Ally, 16 gigabyte RAM, 512 gigabyte storage, is $799.99. And the Rogue Xbox Ally X, the 24 gigabyte RAM, 1 terabyte, is $1,299.99, which is insanely expensive. To put it in perspective, the Steam Deck's most expensive model is $819, and the Switch 2 is $699. You know, like literally the most recent console for Nintendo is $699 Canadian with the Mario Kart bundle. So even the least expensive Xbox Ally is more expensive than the Switch, the same price arguably as the most expensive Steam Deck, and even against Asus's own products, because Asus is the maker of these things, even their own products are less expensive. So like they're outpricing themselves, which sounds so weird to say. And it feels like I don't understand who this is for now, because I thought this was going to be so much cheaper, because I thought they're like, okay, they saw the success of the Steam Deck, the success of the Switch. They're going after the handheld market, the handheld console market. But you're now the most expensive option by far in a lot of places. Like, I do have to once again emphasize, the most expensive Steam Deck is $819, and the cheapest Rogue Ally is $799. Like, they're very close to the same price. Now, the Rogue Ally's systems are technically better. Yes, they are technically better, and they have better specs, but I don't think that matters too much when the price difference is so massive. Like, for instance, the cheapest Steam Deck is $499 Canadian, so it's almost $300 less, and it comes with Steam. And even if we're talking about like the Switch 2, like the Switch 2 is $699 and it's Nintendo, so you know games will come out. Sure, there's a game problem right now, but you know games are coming out, and it's Nintendo. And then you put on top of the Xbox Ally, and then you put on top of the fact that Game Pass is now more expensive, at least the biggest version of Game Pass. Like, I guess you can still technically buy the essential Game Pass, which is $9.99 a month. So that's not as much, but you don't get as much stuff. You get the 50 plus games, and you don't get the guarantee of day one releases. But you still get the cloud gaming stuff, and the cloud gaming stuff could make a difference because, you know, this is a mobile console, so you could argue the cloud gaming benefits could be useful on this, but you once again still have to, first of all, pay for a subscription service to use it, and you're not getting as many games, and you're not getting those day one releases, which is what a lot of people care about for this type of thing. And it's the value for Xbox Game Pass compared to the other subscription services, because no other subscription service for video games gives you day one releases other than Game Pass. So it feels so weird to me, because now that we've talked about all the prices and stuff like that, I don't see the person that buys something like this other than the hardcore Xbox fan. Now, to be fair, there's still a lot of Xbox fans. You know, we joke about Xbox dying dying and them not having a player base and they can't sell consoles anymore and all that type of stuff. But like, there's still millions and millions of people that play Xbox and buy Xbox products. So I'm not thinking that this thing's going to be like, it's going to sell zero, but I don't see this being a long-term solution to the Xbox problem of our hardware business sucks and no one is buying our hardware comparatively to our competition. I thought this was their answer to that. But with these prices, I just don't see it. And I'm confused by Xbox's strategy right now. I don't understand it. And I hope to one day that I'm going to have like that moment of, oh my God, I get it now. This was all leading up to this moment. But I don't see that outcome right now, and I don't understand their thought process, because I was thinking of maybe one day having a mobile console, right? Because I think it'd be really cool to own. But right now, for me personally, this isn't even close to being on the radar. I'd sooner buy a Switch 2 than this, and I don't even play that many Nintendo games anymore. Like, for me personally, if I was going to be buying a mobile console, I'd get a Steam Deck because of the Steam integration and all that type of stuff. And I don't see a reason to own a Rogue Xbox Ally X or a Rogue Xbox Ally. Also, the naming sucks, but that's just Xbox's thing as well now. Other than a hardcore Xbox fan, I don't see anyone else buying this. So it's really weird to me. Maybe this is just their foot in the door. Maybe later they'll have a cheaper version, but I just don't see it because I don't see the benefit of being a beefy mobile console when most people, they don't care about the specs. The Switch is a great example of that. It is one of the best-selling consoles ever, and it was the least powerful console when it was released. So it's not about the specs. The specs are good for headlines for tech nerds, and that's about it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this actually sells and how pre-orders go. From what I can tell, it's still selling pretty well in terms of pre-orders, but we don't know if they're lowballing the pre-order numbers. They could have just not made that many available for pre-order, so it looks good to say that they sold out on certain retailers. So it's going to be interesting to see how well this actually does. I'll be keeping an eye on it. But I honestly don't really see how this is supposed to blow open the market for Xbox. I don't see how this is going to help. Maybe it'll be a nice addition to it, but I just don't see how it's supposed to help Xbox in their hardware problems. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button. 95% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so please subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to join all of these nice people in the credits, please go over to patreon.com/thetechnojelly. You get access to being in these credits and access to a once a month stream on Patreon, as well as polls to decide on that stream as well. So you get to decide what you want to watch. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, all at the Techno Jelly. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.